Wildcat basketball is on the air from St. Paul. It's senior day as the Wildcats host Hamline and the Pipers. Let's send it downstairs.
And welcome to Butler Arena. And this afternoon's game between the Hamline Pipers and your very own St. Catherine University Wildcats. We'd now like to ask Sheila Garcia and Kevin and Paula Clark to please come down to the scorer's table. Ladies and gentlemen, before we begin this afternoon's game, we'd like to take a moment to honor our two seniors, Senior Meg Clark and Senior Alexis Garcia. In 4 seasons, these two seniors have compiled a record of 49 and 49 and led St. Kate's to its first MIAC playoff appearance in 7 years in 2016-2017. Ladies and gentlemen, Senior Meg Clark. In 4 years with the Wildcats, the senior guard from Kenyon, Minnesota has played in 86 games and made 80 starts. She scored 519 points, including a career-high 22 in St. Kate's win over St. Mary's earlier this season. She has 264 rebounds, 169 assists, and 121 steals. She is one of just 2 players in program history to record a near-perfect shooting game and ranks in the top 10 in school history in single-game steals. Escorted by her parents, Kevin and Paula, Senior Meg Clark. Senior Alexis Garcia. In 4 seasons with the Wildcats, the senior forward from Minnetonka, Minnesota, has appeared in 78 games and made 39 starts. In her senior season, she set career highs in points, rebounds, assists, and steals, while averaging 11.5 points per game. She scored a career-high 32 points earlier this season, which is tied for 3rd all-time at St. Kate's in single-game scoring. Overall, she scored 478 points, had 190 rebounds, 58 assists, and 45 steals. Escorted by her mother, Sheila, Senior Alexis Garcia. Ladies and gentlemen, head coach of the Wildcats, Don Mulhern.
I would like to extend my sincere appreciation and thanks to Meg and Alexis and their families. I know that the number of miles you've driven over the last 4 years, going out to Portland, going all over the Midwest, hopefully was well worth it. It's good to see your smiling faces. As a first-year coach, it's very nice to be welcomed by a team, family, and welcomed by the seniors. Megan and Alexis, you are both wonderful to coach, and you both love this game of basketball that we all love. Thanks for showing that love every day in practice and on the court with a positive energy and a positive vibe. And yes, ladies, you're both Katie's for life.
Thank you, Coach. Again, ladies and gentlemen, seniors Meg Clark and Alexis Garcia. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. The game will begin very shortly.
That reminds you why you're a fan of college athletics. A senior day, always a bittersweet day to be sure, and this is a very talented senior class. Alexis Garcia along with Meg Clark, and very nice to have them here with their families and their head coach, Don Mulhern, to honor them with a nice award pregame. And now you get around to the hard part. You got to report for duty. It's still a day at the office, and the Wildcats have to deal with the Hamline University Pipers, who take to the court right now. This is a team that bested St. Kate's back on January 13th, a 64-57 final in that game. Our engineer today is Glenn Thompson. I'm Matt Nelson, so happy to be with you on this Saturday afternoon from St. Paul for Senior Day. The Wildcats come into the game very much into the conversation for postseason play. It's down to them and Augsburg for that last spot in the MIAC. The last 3 games of the season will determine it. And Wednesday night, those two teams will square off in basically a do-or-die game. Depending on the results today, Augsburg takes on St. Ben's, and St. Kate's obviously has Hamline trying to split that season series. But in the event of an Augsburg loss and a St. Kate's win, that game on Wednesday night would essentially be a postseason game, a do-or-die game for both teams. The winner of that would have the tiebreaker heading into the final game of the season, which would be next Saturday. But the matter at hand, first up, is Hamline and the Pipers. Alex Folke is their first-year head coach. 4-18 overall, 3-12 so far in the MIAC. One of those wins over St. Kate's and the Wildcats for Don Mulhern in his first season. 10-12 overall and 6-9 in the MIAC. Let's hear from the head coach. The Wildcat pregame show today. The Wildcats host Hamline and the Pipers, and it is, of course, Senior Day. We'll hear from our 2 seniors, Meg Clark and Alexis Garcia, at halftime. But now let's hear from the head coach, Don Mulhern. And, Coach, before we talk about anything else, before we talk about the win against St. Olaf, before we talk about the Pipers, we have to honor these 2 seniors, Meg Clark and Alexis Garcia. Now, you had the pleasure of coaching them for 1 season, but what can you tell me about these 2?
They're both very coachable. They love being in the gym, which is, as a coach, your gym's your happy place, and you want players that also want to be there because they want to be there. And Meg and Alexis are happy in the gym. They love, competing. They love being around the whole ball, bouncing things, shoes squeaking, and all that sort of stuff. And I guess that really strikes me is they enjoy this thing that we call basketball, and it's kind of neat to see the joy in them when they play a game that we all love.
How about for you? You've been in the coaching business for some time now, a veteran coach. Senior Day, I'm sure for you, is still always special and bittersweet.
It is special, and bittersweet's a good word because, it's always the end of an era for however many you have at that point in time, and, with the family and friends there, and, oftentimes you've got parents that have been coming for 4 years, oftentimes driving a distance to watch their daughters who they love play, and, those things come to an end, and that's sad. On the other hand, it's, they're going to be a new chapter in their life, and obviously and hopefully an exciting new chapter in their life. But anytime that you have things come to an end, there's always that kind of, wistfulness and stuff. And so, yeah, it can be bittersweet.
Let's talk about the game against St. Olaf. You guys end up pulling away probably a little tighter than you and your fellow coaches would have liked in the first half. You guys end up pulling away with a convincing victory. What were your thoughts on that game? One thing that did stand out to me, there were a lot of turnovers in that game.
There were a lot of turnovers, and we have to have defensive energy. That's all there is to it. And when we have defensive energy, I think we do pretty well when we fly around and stuff. And, defensive energy isn't something that you kind of hope that, magically comes from the ceiling. You have to create it yourself. And sometimes we struggle with them making that on our own. Then on the other hand, we're pretty good at that at times. So I think that that's a big thing for us. And I think that halftime, second half, we made a few adjustments, and that really helped us a lot. Turnovers, it's decision making. A lot of turnovers. If the pass is never there in the first place, it shouldn't be thrown as opposed to throwing and then it's turned away. That comes from experience and from, knowing when to make it and when not, who's open, those sorts of things, and that's part of the process, and we all want it to occur now, but reality is it takes time.
Speaking of things that I'm sure you've wanted to have happen for some time, one thing that did appear in the St. Olaf game, the three-point shot. You guys shot the 3-ball pretty well. It was the difference in that game.
Well, it was a big difference, and, you don't want to rely on threes. I mean, you can't rely on them. You have to rely on fundamental basketball and defense and rebounding and those things. On the other hand, when they go in, it makes things a lot nicer, and it seems like your offense looks better. But, St. Olaf played a really good zone. I mean, it's a really, really good zone, and you got to make some threes against them to loosen it up. Thankfully, we did in the second half. I don't want that to be what we're holding our hat on. On the other hand, it's nice when they go in.
What about Hamline? What did this team learn from the first time out? You guys went up to the Midway neighborhood earlier this season, and it didn't go your way. A chance to even the season series this afternoon.
Well, I guess you called the segue. They shoot threes like there's no tomorrow. I mean, it's amazing. They have 5 different girls that have shot each of them over 50 attempts on threes in a year. And they really space the floor really well. And, One of the things that they do so well is that everything gear on the perimeter is open is going to catch and shoot, and they have really quick releases. In that game, we didn't do as well as what we'd liked of closing out, making them put the ball on the floor, and they made us pay for it. And that'll be a big thing today is we've got to contest threes, get out of their shooters, make them put the ball on the floor, and make them have to earn that.
Be a good one, Don. Great to see you again. And again, congrats to the two seniors, and best of luck today with the Pipers.
All right, thank you, and hopefully we'll give you a good one.
There he goes. That's first-year head coach Don Mulhern previewing today's game in between the Wildcats and the Pipers. St. Kate's hosting Hamline on this senior day. Let's send it back downstairs. We'll honor America with the playing of the Star-Spangled Banner. We will hear the starting lineups for the Pipers and the Wildcats, and then we'll have the tip. Wildcats still on the chase for a postseason berth in 2017-2018. But first, it's senior day on a Saturday in St. Paul. Let's send it downstairs.
Guys, please remove your caps and please face the flag as we now honor America with the playing of our national anthem. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's meet the starting lineups for this afternoon's game, alternating in numerical order, beginning with the Pipers from North Branch, Minnesota. Sophomore guard number 5, Morgan Coleman. For the Wildcats from Hutchinson, Minnesota, freshman forward number 4, Morgan Kurth. For the Pipers from Bloomington, Minnesota, sophomore forward number 20, L.A. Sartain. For the Wildcats from Britain, South Dakota, freshman guard number 5, Ashley Fosness. For the Pipers from Eau Claire, Wisconsin, freshman guard number 23, Molly Wampler. For the Wildcats from Minneapolis, Minnesota, sophomore guard number 11, Danica Cambries. For the Pipers from Eau Claire, Wisconsin, junior guard number 24, Elena Quaranta. For the Wildcats from Kenyon, Minnesota, senior guard number 12, Meg Clark. For the Pipers from St. James, Minnesota, sophomore forward number 35, Riley Geisfeld. And for the Wildcats from St. Paul, Minnesota, sophomore guard number 15, Jackie Radford. The balance of the Pipers and the balance of the Wildcats. Assistant coach for the Pipers, Anna Voltmer.
There's your starting lineups for both teams. Big game for the Wildcats. 3 to go and still very much on the chase, in the hunt for the MIAC Women's Basketball Postseason Tournament. Right now, 4 of those spots are locked up. St. Thomas undefeated 15-0, and yes, if you were listening Wednesday night, I put the curse on that game. I said Augsburg had won, and I said that because my computer said that Augsburg had won. They didn't win. They were up 4 with 8 seconds to go. Somehow St. Thomas found a way to send the game to overtime, where they won convincingly. So St. Thomas remained undefeated. They're 15-0. St. Ben's 14-1. They've got Augsburg today. Gustavus in third place at 12-3. They play St. Kate's next weekend. And Bethel as well at 11-4. Those are the top 4 spots in the playoffs. The remaining 2 are still up for grabs. St. Mary's, Augsburg, and St. Kate's. 2 out of those 3 teams will get those last 2 spots. We're ready to tip it off, and off we go. It is MIAC women's basketball on tjsportsonline.net. Senior Meg Clark gets things underway. Now it's Radford on the right-hand side wing. Now Meg Clark again, the senior from Kenyon, drives, puts it up. Her shot was blocked down low. It's Piper basketball. The Wildcats come up empty-handed on their first possession. It's Geisfeld lining one up. That's off. And a rebound on the weak side by the freshman Ashley Fosness out of Britain, South Dakota. Meg Clark has it. Surveying that Piper defense. Piper's led by first-year head coach Alex Foke. Ambrice drives, kicks outside. Radford pump fake. She'll pull it up from 8 feet out and knock it down off of the window. The Wildcats score first, and it's sophomore Jackie Radford. 7.5 points per game for the sophomore Radford to go along with 7.5 boards. Versatile player, was up against the shot clock and was able to squeeze off a shot. Down low, ball stripped away by Cambrice as she pulled it right out of the hands of Wampler. Now Cambrice going the other way with it. Off of the window, up and in. Wildcats lead by 4 early. Donica Cambrice just under 18 points per game for the sophomore to go along with 6 rebounds and a 58% field goal percentage on the season. A very robust number for the sophomore Cambrice. Geisfeld has it. Now right side, Wampler will take a look. Coleman top of the key, drives with the left hand and boots it out of bounds. Piper's turnover 90 seconds into the first quarter with the Wildcats on top 4-0. Today's broadcast is interactive. We want to hear from you, the listener, whether you're rooting on the Pipers or the Wildcats. Drop us an email, wildcatsbooth@gmail.com, and let us know who you're rooting for today, whether it's the Scarlet and Gray of Hamline or the Wildcats, going left to right across your keyboards and monitors or your touch screens if you've got your iPad out. Radford driving. Her shot's off. Jackie had her own rebound, now lost it. But Meg Clark came up with it. A second chance and a fresh shot clock for St. Kate's, already leading 4-0. So drop us a note. This is one of just 2 broadcasts we have left this season. That is barring a postseason berth. We would carry that on tjsportsonline.net. There's a steal for the Pipers. Geisfeld came up with it. Hamlin will push the pace. They like to shoot the 3. Coleman goes cross court. 3-pointer on the way is knocked down. It's Alina Quaranta. Quaranta knocks down the 3, and the Wildcats turn it over in the backcourt, and Quaranta got another one. Quaranta now with 5 unanswered points. Quaranta, 11.5 points per game. Starting her 19th game of the season as Cambrice is fouled in transition. Quaranta got her going to the rack. The layup is no good, but Cambrice will go to the line to shoot 2. Quaranta knocked down the 3-pointer. And then just as she was coming the other way underneath the basket, the Wildcats turned it over in the backcourt, and she was able to pick up another 2-pointer to put Hamlin on top. Cambrice ties us at 5. Donica on the season, 63% from the free throw line for the sophomore out of St. Croix Lutheran High School. And she puts the Wildcats back on top. Cambrice with 4 early. 7:18 to go in the first quarter. Wampler into the front court. Harassed by Fosness, who fouled her. Wampler hit the deck, and Fosness called for the foul. The sophomore, or the freshman out of Britain, South Dakota. A first foul against St. Kate's here in the first quarter. And the first against Fosness. Quaranta going back to work. Sends it back outside into the corner. 3-pointer on the way. That's short. Rebound, though, hauled in by the Pipers. A second chance. They'll work it around to the left side. Quaranta will jack one up and knock it down off of the window with a smile. Goes Quaranta. She has all 8 Piper points. And with a grin like the cat that just ate the canary, she gets the 3-pointer off of the window. The bank shot. Quaranta has all 8. Cambrice down low. Nice moves. Missed the layup. Rebound Fosness. Both teams playing well on the offensive glass. Nice pass down low. And an easy bucket for Morgan Kurth. Radford drops the dime to Kurth, and we're all tied up at 8 apiece. Here in St. Paul. The email address again, wildcatsbooth@gmail.com. Whether you're rooting on the Pipers or the Wildcats. Loose ball. Cambrice kept it alive, and Kurth has it going the other way. It's a 4-on-3. Outside, Meg Clark, the senior on senior day, drives, kicks. Radford open three, got it. Good start for both teams offensively. Wildcats lead it by 3. Radford makes it 11-8. Vipers have it. Geistfeld dribbles casually to her left using that left hand. First-year head coach Alex Folke marching out orders, and it's a turnover stolen away. Donica Cambrace, the steal and the score. Good start for Donica. She has 6 of the Wildcats' first 13 points. 5:28 to go in the first quarter. Good basketball game from St. Paul. The game against St. Olaf on Wednesday night, not always the best looking game. This has been very sharp, crisp basketball. First wave of subs for both teams. Silman and Torvik in for the Wildcats, and for Hamline, I'll send in Stayer and Violet Kennedy. Our first look at those two. Stayer, a sophomore out of Coppell, Texas. Violet Kennedy, a freshman out of Longmont, Colorado. Wildcats leading by 5, needing to defend. Quaranta has all 8 points for the Pipers. She'll launch a long 2 and knock it down. What a start for Quaranta, the junior out of Eau Claire. She has 10 points, already in double digits, averages 11.5 per game. Cross-court pass, Cambrace drives, top of the key, spins and travels. Turnover for St. Kate's, 4:57 left in the first quarter. Got our first email into wildcatsbooth@gmail.com. This one comes from Audrey, listening out in Kenyon, Minnesota. Big fan of Wildcat basketball. Never misses a game. And Audrey, a close follower, no surprise, of her granddaughters, Meg and Audra Clark. Today the senior day for Meg Clark. And don't miss halftime, because we've got a great video interview with both seniors Alexis Garcia and Meg Clark. Rebound putback is no good for Kennedy. And this one's going to stay with the Pipers. Silman couldn't haul it in. So Audrey in Kenyon, Minnesota, thanks for tuning in. Had that shout out by request from the bleachers earlier on. Again, whether you're rooting on the Pipers or the Wildcats, drop us a note. Tonight's, or I should say this afternoon's broadcast is interactive. 3-pointer on the way for the Pipers. Stayer knocked it down. Nothing but the bottom of the net for Kaylee Stayer. Playing in her 23rd game this season. She's actually started 4 of them. She averages 7.5 per game, and the Wildcats turned it over again. Passed down low, laid up and in easily. Morgan Coleman's first bucket of the afternoon. The Pipers go on a 5-0 run, and they lead it 15-13. Radford finds Skwarek, who marches the ball into the front court. Now Radford drives left hand, and she's fouled. I'll say the foul is on the floor, and it's the second of the first quarter against the Hamline Pipers, and the first against Violet Kennedy, the freshman. Great start to this game, 15-13 lead for the Pipers. Free and easy scoring for both teams. Down low with it. A shot high over the window, no good for Torvik. And the Pipers come up with a rebound. Megan Schmidt throwing some elbows around underneath the basket. Schmidt comes up with it off of the bench. Now Morgan Coleman. She'll defer to Wampler. It's back for Kennedy, and it's stolen away and will commit the foul. Skwarek steals the basketball away and then draws the foul out of Kennedy. Her second foul in about the last 60 seconds of game clock. It'll earn her a spot on the bench and a high five from her head coach, Alex Folke. Don Mulhern will send in a sub as well. Our first look at Mackenzie Detman this afternoon. Another one of the youngsters. Detman, freshman out of Hutchinson. 3:37 to go in the first quarter. If you're just joining us, welcome. And a reminder, at halftime we'll be joined by Alexis Garcia and Meg Clark. You can't miss that interview. They were both great. Great stories. And Meg Clark even managed, I think, to get through it without crying, which she said she wasn't going to be able to do. It was a great conversation. Glenn, our engineer, giving me that reassuring nod. It was a lot of fun with both of them who have had great careers. And they've got a chance, if the Wildcats can win 2 out of their next 3 ball games, to be the first winning class for all 4 seasons, their cumulative record. Right now it's at exactly 500, I think since the 1970s here at St. Kate's. So they'll leave a great legacy as truly one of the great all-time great classes here at St. Catherine University. Quaranta to the basket. She puts it up and in. She's on fire. Quaranta has a dozen of Hamlin's 17 points. Wildcats push the pace. Radford spins to the rack and lays it up and in. Radford with 7 points. And the Wildcats cut the Hamlin lead in half. Quaranta. Wildcats got to close out on her quickly, but she got an open look and knocked it down again. Elena Quaranta has 14 first quarter points. And it's in the 19-15 Piper lead. Radford three-pointer on the way. That's good. These teams are lighting it up. Radford cuts the Hamlin lead to just 1 on Jackie's second three-pointer of the first quarter. And she has 10 points. Quaranta with 14 for the Pipers. Radford with 10 for St. Kate's. My goodness, those two are just lighting this thing up. Pass down low, and a foul is going to be called against Radford. Dentman was in the neighborhood as well. And another email into wildcatsbooth@gmail.com. Thank you for writing in. Again, we love interactive broadcasts and hearing from the listeners and the fans out there. Karen Kennedy writes in, cheering from the Pipers all the way from Colorado. And she's enjoying watching Violet Kennedy and rooting on the Pipers. Right now, though, it's Quaranta, and finally she misses on a try. It's out of bounds, and it's Hamlin basketball. Karen, thank you for writing into the broadcast. Appreciate it. You know, there wouldn't be much sense, Glenn, in producing these broadcasts without the great viewers and listeners out there enjoying the basketball. And, boy, this afternoon's game has been so good. These two teams just piling in the buckets. It's been an exciting game to watch. Schmidt. Quaranta now played on a switch. Lost the ball. Detman came up with it into the front court. Bobbled it. Dove on it and somehow got it to Jackie. Quick pass. Cambryce knocked it down from 10 feet out, and the Wildcats lead at 20-19. Cambryce with 8 points. It doesn't always have to be pretty. Sometimes you can lose a ball, dive on it, get it to somebody who's open, and let them do all the hard work. Cambryce knocks it down. It's 20-19. That shot's blocked, and a foul is going to be called against Torvik. It will send Molly Wampler to the free throw line. Wampler, freshman out of Eau Claire, averaging just over 8 points a game. Started now all 23 games this season for the Pipers, and she'll take a very healthy free throw shooting percentage to the line. Wampler knocks down her first. On the season now, Wampler shooting better than 92% from the line. She's 66 of 71. So 71 shots from the free throw line, and she's only missed 5 of them. Very good free throw shooter, and she can put the Pipers back on top with her next one. And no surprise, she goes 2 of 2 from the line and does just that. Wampler makes good on both free throws, and the Wildcats turn it over again. And another bucket knocked down by Quaranta. Quaranta has 16 first quarter points. The Wildcats, when they've turned the ball over, Hamlin has made them count. Cambryce misses. Walking right in for the uncontested rebound, and putback is Morgan Kurth. 4 first quarter points for Kurth. And the Pipers with a 1-point lead will set up shop offensively. Eisfeld to her left, fouled by Jackie, and it is the 4th foul, actually the 5th foul against St. Kate's and the 2nd against Jackie. Wildcats can ill afford to get Radford in foul trouble. It'll send Geisfeld to the free throw line, where she shoots 62% on the season. And it's going to get Emma Nilsson checked in at the next chance. And here she'll come in. Geisfeld knocks down her first. Geisfeld, just like Wampler, has started all 23 games this season for the Pipers. And Geisfeld knocks them both down. 3-point lead for Hamlin. 36 on the game clock, 30 on the shot clock. Nelson in. Has a 2-on-1. Finds Cambryce. Strong move to the basket, and she lays it up and in. 10 points for Cambryce. It's a 1-point game. Shot clock down. 24 seconds left on the first quarter clock. Pipers can hold it for the last shot. And they have their set sent in from their head coach, Alex Folke. He calls it out. Quaranta would be a good place to start. She has 16 in the first quarter. Instead, they'll send it to the elbow. Now pump fake there, Coleman. And a turnover. Kurth comes up with a 3-on-2. 3 seconds left to work. She finds Meg Clark, who nearly lost it, puts it up. And the layup no good. And we take a deep breath after an exciting first 10 minutes of basketball from St. Paul. It's the Hamline Pipers 25, St. Kate's and the Wildcats 24. You're listening to Wildcat Basketball on TJSportsOnline.net. What a first quarter.
Related problems and injuries. Their doctors are team physicians to the University of St. Catharines, Augsburg College, Hamline University, and others. Visit tcomn.com.
McGough Construction, building for the next generation. They have an unsurpassed reputation for quality workmanship, creative value engineering, and innovative solutions, delivering projects on time and on budget. At the heart of who they are, McGough Construction values the passion and commitment that drives their reputation for quality. Learn more at www.mcgough.com.
A reminder, tonight's broadcast is brought to you in part by Goodmanson Construction, the Opus Group, People's Electric Co-op, and the Ryan Company. Go Cats!
Shapco Printing, a full-service print solution provider, producing the highest quality print communications, reliably and consistently to customers across the globe. Shapco has received numerous awards from a variety of prestigious organizations. Located at 1109 Zane Avenue North in Minneapolis. For more information or to contact us, check us out online, www.shapco.com.
Well, it doesn't get much better than that first half. Or that first quarter, 25-24, we'd be on pace. If both teams could keep that up, we would be on pace to get both of these teams north of 100. Hamline's going to turn it over on their first possession, but what a hot start offensively for both of these teams, especially Elena Quaranta. She dumps in 16 points in the first quarter. Jackie Radford for the Wildcats does her part as well with 10. Donica Cambryce had 10 as well. So we've only played 10 minutes, and we've already got 3 players in double-digit scoring. It was a remarkable first 10 minutes. We're 20 seconds into the second quarter. We welcome you back in. Our engineer is Glenn Thompson. I'm Matt Nelson. So happy you can spend a part of your weekend with us. A three-pointer on the way for Clark. No good. Rebound. Pipers. Morgan Coleman has it, and they'll push the pace. Now Wampler driving. Runs into Detman. No whistle, and Cambryce collects the loose ball after the miss for the Pipers. Wildcats down by 1. Clark has it. Well, we'll backpedal for Detman and Kurth. This senior class played their first 3 years with Sean Pinkerton, and this year with Don Mulhern. Here comes Meg Clark charging to the basket. She's fouled and will go to the line to shoot 2. Layup's no good, and it gets a big slap of the basketball from that Piper bench, and Alex Folke, it'll send Meg to the free throw line. 70% free throw shooter on the season for the senior Clark. Next one can tie it up, and does for Clark. For Clark, I mentioned 70% free throw shooter, 8.5 points per game and 4 boards, playing in her 23rd game in this her senior season and starting her 22nd. What a ball game we've got here. Now loose ball hauled in by Coleman. She'll go into the corner, and Quarana stepped out of bounds. Pipers turn it over, and the Wildcats will have a chance here with the tie score. All right, we got one into the Wildcats booth at gmail.com, and it's going to be a little Jeopardy action going on. I can already see that as Cambryce lays it up and in. Cambryce, a chance at a three-point play, puts the Wildcats on top. She's got a dozen, and will go to the free throw line with a chance to make it a baker's dozen. Baker's dozen. No, a Bankers dozen. I don't know what that would be, but a Baker's dozen where I come from is 13. Cambridge knocks down the free throw nicely. She's got 13. Ryan Sartain writes into Wildcats booth at gmail.com, and he said a little known fact about the game is that Allie Sartain, her older sister, played with Alexis Garcia's older sister on the Minnesota Metro Stars. And they probably don't even remember playing with each other on the court between halves during that AAU season. That's a great one. Brian, thank you for writing in from West Palm Beach down in Florida. A little bit of envy going on. You just say West Palm Beach and you can just feel that glowing heat off of the sun. Here comes Kurth going the other way. She'll send it on into the corner. Detman will pass on an open three-pointer. That's off of the side of the window. That's a great story, Brian. Thank you for writing in. Allie Sartain's dad just a great connection. And I'm guessing they do remember that as the Pipers score going the other way. They have to remember that. That's what gets them into basketball. Those are those great memories that you have that lead you to put in all of those hard hours in the gym and all of the practices to wind up playing college ball. Detman off of the window. Detman drives and scores. The Wildcats back on top by 3. Coleman nearly lost it. Wrangled it back. And this is normally how it goes on these interactive. When we open it up, sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. Normally, whenever we start hearing from lots of visiting teams fans, that's normally when we hear from the Wildcats fans that are out there. So right now we got a 2-1 score. Pipers in the inbox. Short jumper is off. Quaranta hauls in the board on the weak side. 7 minutes left in the first half. 30-27 the score. Wildcats on top on what has been a run-and-gun kind of game. Wampler has it. Ships it on into the post. Through a double team and a foul. They shot no good for Geistfeld. She's fouled and will go to the line to shoot 2. The first foul against St. Kate's here in the second quarter. And the third against Ashley Fosness. First shot no good for Riley Geistfeld, sophomore out of St. James, Minnesota. More than 10 points per game and just over 6 rebounds. 62% free throw shooter. I mentioned she started each and every game this season for the Pipers. 4-18 on the season. They find themselves out of the conversation for a postseason berth, but with a first-year head coach, as Geistfeld knocks down her second, with lots of experience over there in Hamline. Just comes with bolstering the roster and learning how to win. You saw that earlier this year. They bested the Wildcats over at Hutton Arena. Last time out, though, it did not go the Pipers' way. They were bested, and they got clocked pretty good, 72-43 on Wednesday night against Bethel at home. Wildcats there last time out took it to St. Olaf here at the Butler Center. Meg Clark, floater, rattled around and in. Wildcats by 4. Final score in that game against St. Olaf was 62-45. Cambrise had 16 points. Meg Clark had 14. The Wildcats shot well, shooting the long ball. They shot 38%, 8 of 21 shooting the 3, but they did turn the basketball over 21 times. Little pick and roll action. Geistfeld finishes it off for the Pipers. Geistfeld has 5. It's 32-30. Now that would be, I mentioned that last email from Mr. Sartain down there in Florida. I mentioned that was going to be a Jeopardy question. That would be a double Jeopardy question for anyone who knew that factoid. Layup off for Clark. Cambrise got the offensive rebound, put it back up and in. What a first half for Cambrise. She has 15 points and a timeout on the floor. 5:21 left in the first half. It's St. Kate's 34, Hamline 30 on a Saturday from St. Paul.
On your way to or from the game or anytime, visit your area Little Caesars. There is one just off the St. Kate's campus at 635 Snelling Avenue South. Call ahead with your order. 651-699-5551. Providing innovative food and beverage solutions since 1955 is Midwest Vending. servicing organizations large and small throughout the Twin Cities, including St. Catherine's University. Proud to offer unwavering integrity, in-demand products, innovative technology, and personal attention. Give them a call at 952-707-1990 or visit
Saturday
Midwest
from
Vending.
St. Paul.
.com.
Bringing back into the Butler Center, Wildcats and Pipers, a 34-30 lead for St. Kate's as we welcome you back in. 5:16 to go out of the Hamline timeout. Wampler struggled through a double team, somehow managed to get the ball to Stayer. Now both teams will reset offensively and defensively. Three on the way. Geisfeld. Oh, it rattled around, but it found its mark. The three-pointer good for Riley Geistfeld. The post player goes outside and knocks one down. She's got 8. And St. Kate's traveled in the backcourt, so they turn it over. How's this for a shooting start for these two teams? St. Kate's 14 of 24 from the floor. That's 58%. The Pipers shooting an astounding 61% through 15 minutes of basketball, 11 of 18. 3 of 6 from beyond the arc. Wildcats 2 of 3. And a big part of that is this Quaranta. She knocks another shot down. I'm going to need more room on my sheet. She's got 18 points. Quaranta now 8 of 10 from the floor for 18 points in the first half. Rebound Geisfeld off of the Wildcat miss. Pipers by 1. What a game. My goodness. It's senior day. Meg Clark and Alexis Garcia, your two seniors for St. Kate's, as this loose ball gets swung outside. The shot long for Wampler, but an offensive board for Geistfeld. Now Quaranta drives with that left hand. Got through a double team. Layup is off. She's now 8 of 11. Clark pushes the pace. Finds the long arms of Cam Bryce, who lays it up and in off of the window. Boy, the Pipers defense a bit tardy, closing out on Cam Bryce, who has 17, one short of Quaranta for game high. Cam Bryce now 7 of 9 from the floor. Quaranta off on the three-pointer. Rebound Geisfeld, and she was fouled on the way down. Silman got her. It's the second foul against St. Kate's in the second quarter. And it will be the first foul, I believe, against Silman. It is. Freshman out of Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin. So Cam Bryce now 7 of 9. Quaranta 8 of 11. What a shooting start for these two teams. Both have been good from the free throw line. Hamline 5 of 6. St. Kate's 4 of 5. Geisfeld couldn't finish it off, and now foul in the backcourt against Hamline. Just their third foul, the first against Kaylee Stayer. Wildcats leading by 1, trying to build on that lead. Clark lost it, but scooted it out for Detman. 9 seconds on the shot clock. Meg Clark drives, spins, puts it up. No foul call. Their shot may have been blocked. And the Pipers come up with the loose ball. Megan Schmidt doing the dirty work underneath the glass right now. Her and Geisfeld, two post players in there. Quaranta bowls right by Kurth, kicks it into the corner. 3 on the way. Stayer knocked it down. And they will say, was that a 3? Yes, they do give Stayer the 3. So she has 6 points. And it's a 38-36 Piper lead. Kurth, short jumper, high over the arc, no good. And a foul called against Detman going up for the rebound. She got tangled up with Megan Schmidt. A foul against Detman is her first. Detman, 5'9", freshman out of Hutchinson. Plays a little bit bigger than that, though. Good size for this level. Pipers by 2. Both teams trading leads here in the second quarter. Pass goes down low. That's where Geisfeld sets up shop and lays it up and in. Really, Geisfeld is now in double digits. We've got 4 players, 2 on each team, already in double digits. Radford and Cam Bryce for the Wildcats, Quaranta and Geistfeld for the Pipers. And it's just the first half. Driving a kick, but Cambryce deflected it, and the Wildcats steal it away. Nice job by Donica defensively. Kurth in transition finds Donica in the corner. Cambryce had it, tried to go to the left hand, had it poked away. Quaranta comes up with it for the Pipers. She's off to the races. Quaranta layup. Missed badly. Loose ball, though, chased down by Coleman. Shot clock didn't reset. Passed down low, and Coleman wasn't ready for it. Pipers turn it over, and Alex Foke wants a timeout. The Pipers will take one. And let's do the same. 1:47 to go in the first half. Hamline 40, St. Kate's 36. You're listening to Wildcat Basketball.
Loeffler Companies offer efficiency, flexibility, productivity, speed, and quality support for all of your office technology and service needs. From copiers, printers, and managed print services to phone systems, IT solutions, and much more. Contact Loeffler to learn more. Thank you, Loeffler, for your support of Wildcat Athletics.
In Minnesota, we golf differently. Sure, we count our birdies. And if you're lucky, an eagle. You can plan on a few mulligans in the land of 10,000 water hazards. If you can call Lake Superior a water hazard. And when the fairway turns into a deer crossing, well, that's just par for the course. So take the cart path less traveled. Only in Minnesota. Visit exploreminnesota.com.
Transporting Wildcat athletes is in the capable hands of Northfield Lines, Inc., dedicated to ensuring that your travel experience is a positive one. Call to request a quote or to make a reservation. 888-670-8068 or visit their website, northfieldlines.com.
Wildcats basically have to win 2 out of their next 3 games if they want any chance at all of sneaking in as the 6th seed into the MIAC women's basketball postseason. They trail right now, Hamline 40-36 with 1:46 to go in the first half. Matt Nelson back with you alongside of engineer Glenn Thompson. Strumke is in for the first time. She'll kick it outside for Cambryce. Big three-pointer. The basket looks like a hula hoop for these two teams. They can't miss. Cambryce, not known as a three-point shooter. I think that's only her third on like 5 tries this season. She's got 20 first half points. Cambryce lighting it up. Wildcats trail it by 1. That's a big shot for Cambryce. Waranta with her 18 points on 8 of 13 shooting. She defers. Coleman, long 2 off of the back iron. Strumke had the rebound and had it stripped away by Geistfeld. Now Quaranta goes to her left and shoots. That's off. Loose ball, last touch by Strumke. She was battling with Schmidt underneath the basket for the rebound. And the Pipers get the benefit of the call, a fresh shot clock. Leading by 1 with 56 seconds left here in the second quarter. I mean, this first half has been fun. Wow. Geistfeld down low, lays it up and in. She took Strumke to school on that one. Geistfeld has 12 points. 42 seconds left in the second quarter. Cambryce booted it off her shoe. Somehow the Wildcats keep it. 3-pointer on the way. That's off for Torvik. Weak side rebound for Hamline. 30 seconds left in the game clock here in the first half. 25 seconds left on the shot clock. This thing is flying by. Both teams shooting better than 50% for the game, and we've played more than 19 minutes. 18 seconds left now, and 13 on the game clock. Wampler bumped by Cambryce. A foul against Cambryce is her first for the sophomore. Wildcats had one to spare. That's their 4th. So now the shot clock not a factor. The Pipers can hold it for the last shot if they so desire. Toronto with 18 of their 42 points. Wampler goes to her right around the screen. She'll pull it up and had her shot blocked. And they're going to say jump ball. Great defense by Torvik. Forcing the jump ball. Still 5 seconds left on the game clock, so the Wildcats will have enough time to maybe take one last crack at either tying or cutting into the 3-point lead. With Cambryce and Silman, Detman, Clark on the floor. Torvik will inbound. Clark has it. She's got to go the length of the floor. 5 seconds to go. Detman has it now. 2 seconds to shoot. Now 1. Detman, little floater. Missed a wide open look from about 5 feet out, but it'll bring an entertaining first half to a close. Your score through 20 minutes of basketball. Hamline 42, St. Kate's 39. We will break. Reminder, folks, do not run away. I know we normally throw our sponsors' ads at you at halftime. You're not going to want to miss this halftime show. Alexis Garcia, senior, out of Minnetonka, Hopkins High School, will join us alongside of Meg Clark. These two have seen their careers starting to wind down now. They still got 3 games to go, well, 2.5 games. But today is senior day as the Wildcats honor Alexis Garcia and Meg Clark. They joined us pregame. We've got the video of that interview coming your way. It looks like the dance team is here as well. So plenty to throw at you here at the half. Again, let's break momentarily. We'll look back at the first half, which was more than entertaining. Both teams just shooting the lights out here on a Saturday afternoon. And then we will hear from our 2 seniors, Alexis Garcia and Meg Clark. Hamline 42, St. Kate's 39 through 20 in St. Paul.
Twin Cities. Klein Nissan, your home for new and used Nissans, serving the entire Twin Cities area from Maplewood. And when your new or used vehicle needs auto service or car repair, visit them at 3090 Highway 61 North. Klein Nissan. Thanks for letting us prove our passion and dedication to the Nissan brand.
Hey Wildcat fans, Matt Nelson back with you, and I want to remind you that if you're enjoying today's game, to check out some of the great sponsors of St. Kate's Athletics. They not only make tonight's broadcast possible, but they also enhance the student-athlete experience at St. Catherine University. Twin Cities Orthopedics, Universal Athletics, Northfield Lines, Midwest Vending, Best Western in Bloomington, Cone Elevators and Escalators, Klein Nissan, U.S. Bank, Jimmy John's, Loeffler Business Solutions, Nick Goff Construction, Shapko Printing, the Hickey Family, Eckberg and Lammers, Attorneys at Law, the DLR Group, Daddy and Gardner, Attorneys at Law, E&E Masonry, the Newman Family, Becker Floors, Protect Design, Munchie's Frozen Yogurt, Goodmanson Construction, the Opus Group, People's Electric Co-op, and the Ryan Company. Go Cats! Welcome you back in. It's halftime at the Butler Center. We played 20 minutes. Right now the Hamline Pipers on top of St. Kate's by a score of 42-39. Very high scoring first 20 minutes of basketball. It's senior day, and for the Wildcats that means it's a chance to honor Alexis Garcia and Meg Clark. We caught up with them earlier this afternoon. Let's look back at that interview. Senior day in St. Paul at the Butler Center for the Wildcats, and we've got 2 of them here with us. It's always a bittersweet kind of day. We've got Meg Clark and Alexis Garcia here joining us. It's halftime as the Wildcats are hosting the Pipers, and we always do this on audio, but now we're doing the video, so you 2 are the guinea pigs, so thank you for that. You guys are the lucky draw on that one. But senior day's bittersweet. What do you guys go? What are the emotions going through you guys today? I mean, I heard you before we jumped on air. You said you've heard from Coach Pinkerton. It's a special time.
Yeah, it's definitely both feelings. I'm really excited, obviously, for the game. I think we've had a really great year, seeing like where we started when I was a freshman and coming to now. It's like awesome, but I'm definitely gonna cry. I'm a crier. I've already cried a few times from like a text from my dad, and then Coach P texted me, and I'm like, ugh. But
it's the dust.
Yeah, it's just I have something in my eye. No.
What about for you, Alexis? I mean, this senior season, it's been your best.
Yeah, it's been very emotional. I mean, being out right now with an injury and it not being able to play on the court, but I'm still here. I'm still want to support the team and everything. And like Meg said, I came here 5 years ago, and they had 1 game under their belt, and now we're, in the running for playoffs for the second time. It's pretty exciting, but definitely gonna cry.
They say the hallmark of getting it done in college athletics is leaving a place better than you found it. I'm sure both of you feel that that's been the case.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's just awesome. Like the people that I've been playing with, the past few players that have graduated, and then like Coach P, we all just kind of took a chance, and we believed in what he saw in the program, and he believed in St. Kate so much that it was almost like impossible for us not to believe in it. And now he left it at a good place for Coach Don to like continue that, and maybe like not a great, now last year we did playoffs, and this year we're a contender. Maybe in a few more years we'll be 1, 2, 3 in the MIAC, which I think will be really cool to watch.
What did you think of that, Alexis? I mean, Coach Pinkerton to Don, that's quite a far cry. That's quite a contrast. Both great coaches, and there's lots of ways to skin a cat, as they say, but they're a little bit different. How's it been this year working with Don?
It's definitely been different, but it's a good different. It's a different perspective. I mean, having Coach P for the last 4 years and having a new coach, he has this whole different perspective of the program, and he came in from an outsider who we played against, and it's just really exciting. And obviously we keep going, and it's going to be a good program and going up.
Coming into the season, or a few months ago, we might have thought we'd have 3 of you up here. We're one Clark short. What was it like playing with your sister? I've covered teams all the way up from Division III to Division I, and I've seen sisters split up and go play at different schools. I've seen them stick together and play at the same school. Some sisters would just as soon see anyone else other than their sister in the locker room some days. What's it been like for you playing with Audra?
It's been like the best gift that like I could ever. I'm gonna cry. No, she's my point guard, and like she always will be, and it's just so strange not playing with her. You know, we started in like 3rd grade. We've had the same number since 3rd grade, 12 and 13.
Really?
Yeah. So I mean, it's just I was her number 2, and you know, it's just she's such a great player, and I just like admire her so much. That's like another thing like I had to do, you know, with the coaches talking to me. She was obviously such a big impact scorer and impact player, and they're like, you're really going to have to step up into like her role. And Alexis and I feel like we've done a pretty good job sharing it. At the point guard, we just kind of, whoever takes the ball, takes the ball. But no, and we're best friends like on and off. We have little fights, but they only last like 5 minutes, and then it's like, want to go get Chipotle? But no, yeah, it's been.
Chipotle will solve any problem.
We don't talk for a half hour, and then it's like she'll text me, and we live together, so we'll be at her room. She's like, "Want to go get Chipotle?" And it's like, "Okay, yeah." And then it's done. So
that'll cure anything.
Yeah, that will.
We got to give you guys a chance to say something about each other. We always do this with the seniors. Last year it was pretty much a trip when you had Lachey sitting in the room there, and everyone got their chance to take their shots at her. So give you guys a chance to say something about each other. We'll start with you, Alexis.
I mean, this year, I mean, I wasn't expecting to come back, and I did, and Meg and Audra were there to support me and let me come back, but also Meg has always stepped up, and she did this year too, and I appreciate it, and everything. She's a good person and a great player too. So
I think, yeah, I remember Alexis texting us at the spring last year because she was talking with Coach P, and he wanted her to come back, and she's like, I don't want to step on your toes. It's your senior year. And we're like, no, you need to come back. And we're like, we want you. So yeah. And then she just watching to when I came in, I mean, she was just getting off an ACL injury when my freshman year. So watching her grow into just this all conference caliber player is really cool. And she just works so hard, and she's been such a great leader, and it's kind of helped me step up into that leader role because she had already been a captain last year, so she was used to it. So I was like, oh, but she helped me grow into that, and I think, yeah, it was really cool.
Now, on the other side of this basketball season, you have this very scary thing. I think they call it the real world. I know it is really a scary proposition, to be sure. So what are the plans? Do you have plans? Do you not have plans for the real world? Meg, I don't know what you're going to do without getting knocked onto the floor 10 times a day. You might be able to actually rest up. Yeah, no more athletic tape. But what are your plans?
I actually do have another semester, so I will hopefully graduate in December. But I switched my major to fashion merchandising and business my junior, right after my sophomore year. So I'm just a little bit behind, but yeah, I'm so happy I did it. I had no idea what I wanted to do when I came to college, and I feel like a lot of people don't. But so I finally
still don't know what I want.
So I switched it, and I'm so happy that I did. I got a lot of so I love what I'm doing. I hopefully will get an internship as a buyer after graduation for a company. I would love to move around maybe a little bit, maybe take a break, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
What about for you, Alexis?
Honestly, I'm still trying to figure that out. I mean, I've had jobs lined up, kind of at internships and all that. But also this summer, I do coaching with my sister. So I do AAU coaching, and I've done that. And actually, Sean got me into that, so that's really nice. But otherwise,
not careful, you'll wind up out east with Mari and Sean.
Oh yeah. But otherwise, right now, I'm just kind of I'm gonna dip my toes in different places. Have an economics major, that's what I am, and so kind of go into the business field and see what that's like.
All right, we'll get you guys out of here in this one. I know we're running short on time. It's halftime, if you make believe here. But I always ask this question whenever I have a chance to talk to a senior on senior day. How do you think Meg or Alexis, the senior, is different from Meg or Alexis, the freshman?
Wow, yeah.
Maybe there's not enough minutes left in the day.
Definitely matured a lot in basketball and in life, I think. I came in just as like a kid, and I wanted to go home every weekend and hang out with my mom, and I just was scared of, like, I'm from a really small town, so St. Paul was a big adjustment. But, this is home now, and I've had so many great teammates and that have become my best friends, and you get a lot wiser in college, I think.
Same. Like, I've definitely matured from freshman self, but also it's kind of nice because it's a whole different perspective. Like, I don't think I would be standing here right now on senior day as a fifth year, and just now it's all setting in, and I have to go out to the real world, and kind of scary.
It's a little bit harder on your body senior year, too.
Yeah.
All right, you guys, we made it through. We didn't cry too much, so let's go get some Chipotle after the game. Once again, Alexis Garcia and Meg Clark, congrats on having a great career here at St. Kate's. Keep it tuned right here, folks. When we come back, it's the second half. It's Pipers and the Cats.
Thank you.
Pretty nice, pretty good stuff right there. Alexis Garcia and Meg Clark, our senior day show presentation for you here at halftime. I thought that was a great conversation, and it is the bittersweet part of college athletics is that you get to enjoy and you put in all the hard work. You make the big buckets during the big game. You put in the work on the floor. You put in the work in the classroom. And then eventually, yes, that big, scary, real world is out there waiting for you. But, boy, we have called the names Meg Clark and Alexis Garcia an awful lot over the last 4 years upstairs here at the Butler Center, and we wish them the very best of luck with the rest of this season. And, again, congratulations on great careers as Wildcat athletes for Alexis Garcia and Meg Clark. 42-39 the score at the half. Pipers on top by 3. Let's break and hear from our sponsors. When we come back, we'll look back at the first half, preview the second half, and get back to action. Pipers and Cats on tjsportsonline.net. Hey, Wildcat fans, friendly reminder to join us this year in supporting Wildcat athletics and our sponsors, E&E Masonry, the Newman family, Becker Floors, ProTech Design, and Munchies Frozen Yogurt.
Twin Cities Orthopedics offers a full spectrum of orthopedic care to individuals suffering sports-related problems and injuries. Their doctors are team physicians to the University of St. Catherine's, Augsburg College, Hamline University, and others. Visit tcomn.com.
McGough Construction, building for the next generation. They have an unsurpassed reputation for quality workmanship, creative value engineering, and innovative solutions, delivering projects on time and on budget. At the heart of who they are, McGough Construction values the passion and commitment that drives their reputation for quality. Learn more at www.mcgough.com. A reminder, tonight's broadcast is brought to you in part by Goodmanson Construction, the Opus Group, People's Electric Co-op, and the Ryan Company. Go Cats! Shapco Printing, a full-service print solution provider, producing the highest quality print communications, reliably and consistently to customers across the globe. Shapco has received numerous awards from a variety of prestigious organizations. Located at 1109 Zane Avenue North in Minneapolis. For more information or to contact us, check us out online, www.shapco.com.
On your way to or from the game or anytime, visit your area Little Caesars. There is one just off the St. Kate's campus at 635 Snelling Avenue South. Call ahead with your order, 651-699-5551. Providing innovative food and beverage solutions since 1955 is Midwest Vending. Servicing organizations large and small throughout the Twin Cities, including St. Catherine's University. Proud to offer unwavering integrity, in-demand products, innovative technology, and personal attention. Give them a call at 952-707-1990 or visit MidwestVending.com.
Loeffler Companies offer efficiency, flexibility, productivity, speed, and quality support for all of your office technology and service needs. From copiers, printers, and managed print services to phone systems, IT solutions, and much more. Contact Loeffler to learn more. Thank you, Loeffler, for your support of Wildcat Athletics.
In Minnesota, we golf differently. Sure, we count our birdies. And if you're lucky, an eagle. you can plan on a few mulligans in the land of 10,000 water hazards. If you can call Lake Superior a water hazard. And when the fairway turns into a deer crossing, well, that's just par for the course. So take the cart path less traveled. Only in Minnesota. Visit exploreminnesota.com.
Transporting Wildcat athletes is in the capable hands of Northfield Lines, Inc., dedicated to ensuring that your travel experience is a positive one. Call to request a quote or to make a reservation. 888-670-8068 or visit their website, northfieldlines.com.
Welcome you back in. It's the second half from St. Paul. Our engineer's Glenn Thompson. I'm Matt Nelson, so happy to be back with you for the second half. We hope you enjoyed the halftime showing with Alexis Garcia and Meg Clark, these two seniors on senior day as Hamline turns it over on their first possession. The first half stats are just unbelievable. They just pop out at you from the score sheet. Quaranta, 18 points, 8 of 14 shooting. Geisfeld, 4 of 5, very efficient, 12 points from the floor. Donica Cambryce, though, 8 of 10 for 20 first half points. Jackie Radford, 4 of 5. She had 10. So those two combined for 12 of 15 for 30 points. Quaranta a steal, though. She picked Kurt's pocket and will drive to the basket and lay it up and in. Quaranta now has 20, and the lead is 5 for Hamline. Can't reiterate it enough. This is a game that St. Kate's so desperately needs. They are very much alive for the 6th seed in the MIAC playoffs. Them and Augsburg battling it out, along with St. Mary's is mixed in there as well for that 5 spot. But 3 of those 2 teams are going to make the playoffs. That's still to be sorted out. But Wildcats can ill afford a loss to Hamline today as Clark is fouled before they shot. They foul against Hamline, their first in the second half. And the first against Morgan Coleman. Both teams, though, shoot better than 50% or 50%. St. Kate's in the first half, 16 of 32 for 50%. And Hamline in the first half, 53% from the floor. 5 of 10 from beyond the arc. The Wildcats from long distance were 3 of 5. Radford drives with the left hand. She pulls it up, slams the brakes on. Goes back out for Clark. She spins. Kicks. Kurth, three-pointer on the way. Missed badly. Rebound, Cambryce. Put back. Too strong. Fosness got it back in. Her putback is no good, and Cambryce has the offensive rebound. Radford wide open 3. That's too long. Cambryce, a 4th chance for St. Kate's. We got a score now. Radford to the rack. Scores. Well, I suppose you got to get it done on the 4th try. Radford has 12 points. Geisfeld has it. Now Wampler. Hamline by 3, and Quaranta's fouled. The three-pointer is short, but Quaranta's going to go to the line to shoot 3 free throws. The foul, a costly one against Morgan Kurth, the freshman out of Hutchinson, called for the foul, and she'll go to the free throw line. Quaranta on the season, not surprisingly, not a good free throw shooter at all. 41% on the season. And her first shot is not even close. Deadly shooter in this game, Quaranta has been. But for one reason or another this year from the free throw line, it has really been a struggle. And you can see she just rushes it and misses again badly. So Quaranta misses her first 2. And if she keeps shooting the 3 like that, fouling her might not be the worst idea in the world late in the game. She goes 1 of 3 from the line. Quaranta has 21 points. But the confidence level you could just see is in the gutter right now for Quaranta from the free throw line. Such a good player, but just really rushing him and laughing him off at the free throw line. Radford's layup is short. Kurth got the loose ball. Her putback is off again. The scrum for the loose ball. Clark got a finger on it. Now it's a jump ball as Coleman and Fosness get tied up for the loose ball, and it'll stay on this side with St. Kate's. And I have no doubt in my mind that Quaranta could be a really good free throw shooter. But for some reason this season, they just have not been finding their mark. 45-41 is the score, and the Wildcats doggone it, turn it over in front of the bench. Clark couldn't come down with it as Radford shot it in. 7:47 left in the third quarter. Hamline basketball. And for sure, with Quaranta as good as she is around the basket, I would be making sure to foul her rather than easy buckets. See if that plays out late in this one. Wildcats haven't done that yet. Quaranta's open. Now she'll drive. Got to Cambrai. Kicked outside. Coleman three-pointer. That's short. Rebound Torvik. And here come the Wildcats pushing the pace. 3-on-3. Radford strong to the basket. A jump ball call. Their shot was blocked by Coleman. It's Hamline basketball. Now both teams starting to play some defense, which was a foreign concept in the first half, but it was exciting offense to watch. That's for sure. Quaranta has it. Now Geistfeld on the elbow. Dribbles away to the free throw line. Now Schmidt for Quaranta, left side. One-on-one against Torvik. Mismatch there. Now played on a more favorable switch by Cambrai. Geistfeld will let loose on the three-pointer, and it's perfect. Riley Geistfeld, a very capable three-point shooter. High-low action for the post player Geistfeld. She puts the Pipers on top by 7, and Geistfeld has 15 points. Right on the heels of Quaranta for best for the Pipers this afternoon. Hamline has already defeated St. Kate's once. That game was back on January 13th, 64-57 final score. And that one, we will eclipse that scoring total in no time here this afternoon. And foul, the second of the third quarter, and the second against Quaranta for the Pipers. Wildcat ball. Pump fake Fosness. Now Clark and a foul away from the basketball. This one's going to go against the Pipers. It's going to be called against Geistfeld. Her second foul for the sophomore out of St. James, Minnesota. Quaranta to the bench for a breather. That's a welcome sight if you're a Wildcat fan, because she has been a pain in the you-know-what for St. Kate's this afternoon. Cambrai just inside the free throw line. Beauty of a shot. Cambrai has 22 as she has her first bucket of the second half. 4 minutes in to the third quarter. 5-point game. Poked away by Torvik, but it'll stay with the Pipers. Fosness to the bench. Kurth back in along with Torvik, Clark, Cambrai and Radford. Geistfeld. She defers to the left side. Stayer pushes it back outside Geistfeld. Now Schmidt, not the shooter that Geistfeld is, will hand off to Wampler. She got tied up. Pump fake Coleman. 2 seconds left on the shot clock. Coleman gets something up. Shots long. Rebound for Radford, who wants to push the pace. Here comes Kurth into the front court. Wildcats will be looking for Cambrai. That much is clear. There she is in the post, working against Geistfeld. Swims on underneath her and scores. Cambrai has 24, and the Wildcats now trail just by 3. Cambrai lighting it up. Pass down low, out of bounds. Trover. Wildcats ball, a chance to tie with a 3. Kurth up top for Cambrai. She'll spin it on into the lane. Why not ride the hot hand of Donica Cambrai? This time, though, she misses, but the Wildcats have the ball trapped in the backcourt. It's a jump ball. They tied up Wampler, and a turnover for Hamline. Wildcats have the arrow. So now another chance to tie with a 3 or make it a 1-point game. You know who the Wildcats are going to be going to here in this second half. 3-pointer on the way. Torvik. It would have tied it. It rattled in and out. Meg Clark, big rebound. Has always been a good rebounder. Both Clarks, Audra and Meg. Now Radford drives, and she was fouled. No bucket. The foul on the floor is the 4th of this third quarter against Hamline, and the foul is going to go against Schmidt. It's the first for Megan Schmidt, the freshman out of Sussex, Wisconsin. Geistfeld to the bench. Quaranta back in. Some offensive punch back in for the Pipers. Torvik to the basket. She lost it. Radford comes up with it. Her layup off. Got her own rebound. Left-handed putback is off. Oh, Wildcats Now a jump ball is called. Torvik, great defense. She tied up Schmidt. Schmidt's having a tough go of it here these last couple minutes of game clock. And Fosness will come back in for Don Mulhern. Coach Mulhern with his team behind here hasn't been going quite as deep into that bench as he's prone to do. But again, the season is basically on the line. Augsburg's playing St. Ben's today. Wildcats go to Cy Melby Hall in Minneapolis on Wednesday to play Augsburg. That'll basically be season on the line for both teams, but Wildcats desperately need a win over Hamline today. Cambryce a steal! That pass was telegraphed, and Donica jumped in there and pulled it away. Fosness back for Cambryce, who's having the game of the season for number 11 in gold and purple. Radford, left-handed dribble, drives, kicks. Clark, this would be a big one. It's long. Cambryce, though, an offensive board. Boy, Wildcats are just killing Hamline on the offensive glass. Radford three, bit ill-advised. Quaranta had it, now lost it. Morgan Kurth stripped it away from her. That layup is off. Boy, the Wildcats got to start making their layups as this one's tipped out of bounds. Hamline ball. Wildcats just miss after miss after miss underneath the basket. We got to start knocking those down. Cut into this 3-point lead. 3:38 left in the third quarter. Getting more offensive rebounds than you can shake a stick at. Got to start making layups. Pipers 48, Wildcats 45. Great game in St. Paul.
Klein Nissan, your home for new and used Nissans, serving the entire Twin Cities area from Maplewood. And when your new or used vehicle needs auto service or car repair, visit them at 3090 Highway 61 North. Klein Nissan. Thanks for letting us prove our passion and dedication to the Nissan brand.
Hey Wildcat fans, Matt Nelson back with you, and I want to remind you that if you're enjoying today's game, to check out some of the great sponsors of St. Kate's Athletics. They not only make tonight's broadcast possible, but they also enhance the student-athlete experience at St. Catherine University. Twin Cities Orthopedics, Universal Athletics, Northfield Lines, Midwest Vending, Best Western in Bloomington, Cone Elevators and Escalators, Klein Nissan, U.S. Bank, Jimmy John's, Loeffler Business Solutions, McGough Construction, Shapko Printing, the Hickey Family, Eckberg and Lammers, Attorneys at Law, the DLR Group, Daddy and Gardner, Attorneys at Law, E&E Masonry, the Newman Family, Becker Floors, Protect Design, Munchie's Frozen Yogurt, Goodmanson Construction, the Opus Group, People's Electric Co-op, and the Ryan Company. Out of the timeout, we get back to work in St. Paul from the Butler Center. Pipers and Wildcats, a St. Paul rivalry. Hamline won the first meeting. Wildcats trying to win this one in comeback fashion, and a turnover is a good way to do it. Radford, the steal. Tried to get it for Silman, did get it there. Silman's pass bumped by Quaranta and out of bounds. Kurth touched it last. Good defense by Quaranta, who's been so good offensively. She had 16 first quarter points. Basically, though, hasn't been much of a factor since then. 21, so 5 points since that 16-point first quarter. Wildcats will defend, and again, Kurth. Oh, she forced a turnover. Last touch by Quaranta. I thought 4 in gold may have been the last one to touch that ball, but the Wildcats getting offensive rebounds, getting stops, the kind of things you need to do to come back and take a lead. Right now what they need is to make some layups. Silman has the ball. Wildcats need to win at least 2 out of their next 3 to make the postseason. Kurth, pump fake from Jackie Radford. She'll take it to her left. Now Kurth has it. Kurth for Cambryce. Surveys off of the elbow. Had a mismatch. Instead, Silman three-pointer on the way. That's long. The three-point shot's gone cold for St. Kate's. Big rebound by Violet Kennedy off of the bench for the Pipers. Pipers were struggling rebounding the basketball. They get one from Kennedy off of the bench. Quaranta or Geistfeld. Geistfeld directing traffic. We'll find Wampler. Goes down low. Pick and roll action. Geistfeld's wide open. Missed the wide open layup. Got her own rebound. She'll dribble it back around. Wampler's open for 3, and she easily knocked it down. Molly Wampler averages 8 a game. She now has 5, and the lead is 6 for Hamline. That's how much they won by in the first meeting between these two teams. Fossness for Silman. Wildcats got to get some offense from somebody other than Cambrise as Kurth is fouled by Quaranta, who begged to differ with the call. It's the third foul against Quaranta, the fifth against Hamline in the third quarter. So that means the Wildcats in the bonus for the next 2 minutes and 4 seconds. See if they can make that count with good trips to the free throw line. Kurth, 53% on the season. Makes her first one nicely. She's got 5 points on the game, right on her season average of 5.5 per game. Kurth playing in her 23rd game, starting her 19th. This would be a big one. And the 53% free throw shooter gets it to rattle around for a while and then knock it down. 51-47 is score. Hamline on top by 4. Wildcats have played good defense but struggled a bit offensively here in the third quarter. Playing a little full court trap action. Hamline handles it nicely. Geisfeld has it in the corner. He's chased down by Kurth. High arcing pass for Wampler, who made her last three. Instead into the corner, Coleman. Now Stayer for Geisfeld. Pass down low. Layup no good. And the shot as the shot clock expires, knocked down by Morgan Coleman. Coleman gets a pair for the Pipers. She's got 4. It's 53-47 as the clock was expiring. That one hurt. Stetman. Radford has it now. Left side. Wildcats trail by 6 with 11 minutes left in the game. $1:12 left in the third quarter. Radford drives. Got through the defense. Laid it up and in. Big bucket for Jackie Radford. She has 14 points. 53-49 new score. Hamline by 4. Wildcats will play defense. Stayer into the front court. She'll let loose on a three-pointer. That's short. Rebound, Meg Clark. She got bumped. Battled right through it. 3-on-2. Clark into the front court. Now Radford. Outside. Kurth pump fakes and she traveled. Turnover for St. Kate's. 40 seconds left on the third quarter clock. 30 on the fresh shot clock for Hamline. The stakes couldn't be higher here on Senior Day. And Kurth picked off the lazy pass. Kurth after the turnover. The layup is off. Wildcats just cannot buy a layup. But they got the offensive rebound in second life. 26 seconds left on the game clock and shot clock. Wildcats can hold for essentially the last shot. Clark for Detman. Now Radford. 12 seconds left in the third quarter. Fossness will drive into a triple team. Layup off. Radford rebound. She'll hook it back up towards the rack. That's no good. Loose ball. Hamline comes up with it. A second left. Half-court heave. Well short, and we go to the fourth quarter. Locked in a close one. The Pipers were up by 3 at the half. They pad their lead by 1 point. 53-49 the score. Pipers on top through 30 minutes from St. Paul. The final and what are sure to be exciting 10 minutes of this one. The Wildcats need a comeback at home when we bring you back, trying to split the season series with the Pipers. From the Butler Center, you're listening to Wildcat Athletics on tjsportsonline.net.
Twin Cities Orthopedics offers a full spectrum of orthopedic care to individuals suffering sports-related problems and injuries. Their doctors are team physicians to the University of St. Catharines, Augsburg College, Hamline University, and others. Visit tcomn.com.
McGough Construction, building for the next generation. They have an unsurpassed reputation for quality workmanship, creative value engineering, and innovative solutions, delivering projects on time and on budget. At the heart of who they are, McGough Construction values the passion and commitment that drives their reputation for quality. Learn more at www.mcgough.com.
A reminder, tonight's broadcast is brought to you in part by Goodmanson Construction, the Opus Group, People's Electric Co-op, and the Ryan Company. Go Cats!
Shep.
As we go to the fourth quarter, we check the out-of-town scoreboard in women's basketball. Carleton today at home against Concordia, and the Cobbers are having their way with Carleton. 51-39 the score with 10 minutes to go in that one. It's halftime here in St. Paul, just up the road. McAllister trailing St. Mary's by 1. St. Olaf at home hosting St. Thomas. No score in from that one. I can't imagine it'll go well for St. Olaf. Augsburg on the road against St. Ben's. And Gustavus hosting Bethel. That could be a playoff preview, maybe a semifinal preview of two very good teams. Loose ball and a jump ball called as Fosness tied up by Wampler. Hamline ball 10 seconds into the fourth quarter. Wildcats have to find a way to leverage some of these stops and turnovers they're getting to some points. They forced all kinds of turnovers, didn't get much out of it. Quaranta got behind the defense and scored. Quaranta has 23. And the lead is back to 6, matching the biggest of the afternoon for Hamline. Detman back in. She'll drive and got stripped. Boy, the Pipers are playing well right now. Quaranta, defensively that is. She'll pull it up 1-on-2. Quaranta didn't have numbers, but she'll knock it down. Quaranta is 25. Hamline's lead is their biggest of the afternoon, and the Wildcats have to take a timeout. They're on the ropes officially with 9 minutes to go from St. Paul.
On your way to or from the game or anytime, visit your area Little Caesars. There is one just off the St. Kate's campus at 635 Snelling Avenue South. Call ahead with your order, 651-699-5551. Providing innovative food and beverage solutions since 1955 is Midwest Vending. Servicing organizations large and small throughout the Twin Cities, including St. Catherine's University. Proud to offer unwavering integrity, in-demand products, innovative technology, and personal attention. Give them a call at 952-707-1990 or visit MidwestVending.com.
Loeffler Companies offer efficiency, flexibility, productivity, speed, and quality support for all of your office technology and service needs. From copiers, printers, and managed print services to phone systems, IT solutions, and much more. Contact Loeffler to learn more. Thank you, Loeffler, for your support of Wildcat Athletics.
Thought that was a crucial timeout for St. Kate's, and I'm not surprised that Don is sending in Emma Nelson because I thought they looked a little gassed towards the end of that last sequence. So you call a timeout, hit the reset button, refocus the defensive intensity, get some subs in there, get your frontline players a breather, and figure out a way to get back into this game. Right now the Wildcats trail it by 8. Cam Bryce surveying the defense. Now Radford. It's going to be Radford, Clark, and Cam Bryce if anyone's going to get the Wildcats back into this game. Geisfeld, no, it's Coleman called for the reach-in foul away from the basketball. Her second foul, the first against Hamline here in the fourth quarter. 59 seconds into it, so fresh clock. Cam Bryce just inside of the free throw line. No shot, no good. And it's Quaranta coming up with a rebound. She'll push the pace into the front court. Boy, the Wildcats have had too many misses inside the arc in this second half. Quaranta's three is no good. Coleman weak side offensive rebound. Now Coleman drives on Cam Bryce. She swatted her shot away. Great defense by Cam Bryce. Fosness into the front court. Nelson passed on an open three. Radford for Clark. Now Cam Bryce going to work in the post. Got double teamed, got stripped, lost the ball, and it's a jump ball. 4 players tie up for it, and it's a jump ball. Wildcats have the arrow, so St. Kate's will keep it on this side. St. Kate's playing for their playoff lives. They are very much alive for the 6th seed. Probably 2 out of their last 3 games. Winning 2 out of the last 3 would do it. The problem, Gustavus, is their final game. Foul called before the ball could come in. It's another one against Coleman, her third. So Coleman called for her third foul, the second against Hamline, and keep a close eye on the foul tracker here in the fourth quarter and which team can get it done from the free throw line. Nelson down low for Fosness, layup short. So many misses in the paint in this second half for St. Kate's. They've been well contested by Hamline, but Wildcats just have not been able to finish off their looks close. 57-49 the score. Hamline by 8. Trying to sweep the season series from St. Kate's. Quaranta left wide open, drives, and thankfully misses for St. Kate's fans because Quaranta, that's the one player you got to know where she's at the floor at all times. Radford in transition gives it a heave-ho to the goal. Shot's no good and a jump ball called. Means it's Wildcat ball. 7:50 to go now. And Alex Folke rightfully saying that's our ball. That maybe they had the arrow wrong. The Wildcats did get the last one. I think Coach Folke is right on that one. And they're checking it at the scores table. I thought Alex Folke was right in that call, but we'll let the officials downstairs sort that out. Wildcats, through these first 12 minutes of the second half, have only scored 10 points. And now they are going to say it's St. Kate's ball. So, Wildcat ball. And again, they've only scored 10 points through 12 minutes here in the second half. Credit Hamline's defense. Clark down low for Radford. She'll spin and score. There we go. Jackie Radford has 16 points, gets it done. Down low in the post, Wildcats showing a little bit of a press. Hamline handles it easily into the front court. They get it ahead for Stayer. Back up top, Wampler has it. Hamline's not going to be in any great hurry right now, leading by 6 with 7:17 to go. They'll work their offense and try to find a quality look, but the Wildcats need to force some turnovers. 9 seconds left to work with. They go down low. Shot no good there for Kennedy. And Cambryce has the rebound. 7 minutes left. Wildcats trail just by 2 buckets. Trying to squeak their way into the postseason, but a win over Hamline is first order. Down low. Clark, nice pass for Kurth. Morgan lays it up and in. Clark to Kurth. It's a 4-point game, and Don Mulhern takes a timeout. Wildcats will talk defense, will break. It's the fourth quarter from St. Paul, 57-53, Hamline on top.
McGough Construction, building for the next generation. They have an unsurpassed reputation for quality workmanship, creative value engineering, and innovative solutions, delivering projects on time and on budget. At the heart of who they are, McGough Construction values the passion and commitment that drives their reputation for quality. Learn more at www.mcgough.com.
Yeah, good point. Talking off air here with our engineer Glenn Thompson. You're never really out of a game, as we learned the other night at St. Thomas. The Tommies were down by 4 with 8 seconds to go, and somehow they found a way to go to overtime and win the thing. So it's never over till it's over, till that final buzzer sounds. 57-53 the score. Obviously, tons of basketball left here. 6:51 to go. And the Wildcats down by 4. Coleman for Kennedy, top of the key. Wambler closed out by Kurtz. She'll drive through the defense and draw a foul. It was before the shot, but it is the first foul of the fourth quarter for St. Kate's, and it's against Morgan Kurth, her second foul. Somewhere in here, the Wildcats are going to have to find a three-pointer. They have not shot the three ball well in this second half, and another foul is going to be called. This time, as Wambler was driving, this was called away from the basketball. Brooke Torvik's first foul. Second against St. Kate's in the fourth quarter with 6:30 to go. We played 3.5 in this fourth quarter. Wildcats need a stop. Hamline's turned it over 17 times. One of those wouldn't hurt the cause either. They'll have a fresh shot clock of 30 seconds to work with. Coleman surveyed Kennedy down low. Geistfeld, now Wampler, goes to her right around a screen. Aranta right now getting a breather on the bench for the Pipers. A golden opportunity for St. Kate's. Wampler, dangerous three-point shooter, played by Fosness closely. 8 seconds left for the Pipers on their shot clock. Loose ball, Wildcat ball. Pipers turn it over. Coleman lost it out of bounds. And with 6:05 left, the Pipers commit their 18th turnover. Again, with Quaranta on the bench, this is a golden chance. Now she's back in, so Quaranta back in for St. Kate's. Alex Folke couldn't let her stymie away on that bench for too long. Cambryce going to work offensively. Her shot no good, but Morgan Kurth the rebound. Big offensive board for the youngster Kurth. Pass down low. Cambryce one-on-one. Layup. That's no good. And Meg Clark another rebound, the senior. Cambryce again will have it. Thought about the jumper, instead outside for Radford. Three-pointer, that's long. Hamline had the rebound, lost it. Meg Clark comes up with it. Her layup blocked, and she'll retreat and set up shop. And her pass was picked off by Geistfeld, so the Wildcats had 3 chances at it offensively and come up empty-handed. Wampler open, drives, lost it. No foul called. Fosness has it. Now Clark, now Kurth. And she's fouled, and Alex Folke's not pleased. He thought Coleman was fouled. Instead, the foul's going to go against Wampler after the turnover. It's the third foul against Hamline in the fourth quarter. And he really thought that the Wildcats got away with one, did Coach Folke on that Piper bench. 5:09 left in the game after the foul called against Wampler. Again, her first, the third against Hamline. Wildcats got to find a bucket. They're doing all the little things right except scoring. Clark fouled, and that's a good place to be. Fourth foul against the Pipers. Not on the shot, but a fresh shot clock for St. Kate's. And the second foul against Megan Schmidt. Radford triggers in for Meg Clark. Wildcats getting turnovers, getting stops, and now an offensive foul. No, a foul against Quaranta. And she had some words for the official as she got tangled up with Fosness. Quaranta still giving the official the business. Fifth foul against Hamline means that the Wildcats are in the bonus, and every foul the rest of the way will be 2 shots. Quaranta really got her money's worth out of that foul. Fourth foul called against Quaranta, and the official really let her bend his ear for quite some time. First free throw good for Kurth. She's got 9 points. And the Wildcats, you can't overstate the importance of that foul call. They get to play the last 4 minutes and 52 seconds in the bonus. So every foul now will result in 2 shots, and we've got a lane violation against St. Kate. So even if the free throw would have been good against Kurth, the foul shot would not have counted. But it's a one-score game, 57-54. Wildcats trail it just by 3. And again, every Hamline foul the rest of the way will result in 2 free throws for St. Kate's. So this game could come down to the Wildcats' prowess at the free throw line. Geisfeld played well defensively by Cambrise. 10 seconds left for the Pipers to work with. It's Wampler. She pulls up on a double team. Short shot is no good. Fortunate break for the Wildcats. A wide open shot for Wampler. Goes long. Cambrise had her shot blocked. Kurth came up with it. Missed the open layup, and Hamlin's got it. Jump ball called. No, a foul against St. Kate's. The foul on the reach-in called against Kurth, her third foul. And again, the Wildcats just missing wide open layups right now. They're getting quality looks. They're forcing turnovers. They're playing great defense. They're in the bonus, but when they have open shots under the basket, they just have been hard to come by. 57-54, the score remains. Hamline by 3. These two teams played a close one back in January, about a month ago, and they're playing another close one here this afternoon. No surprise. Kennedy, top of the key, now has it again just inside of the arc. Geisfeld fouled by Cambrise. Ooh, that whistle came out quickly. Cambrise called for her second foul. Fosness in for Kurth. Fourth foul against St. Kate's. Get the feeling that this game could be determined at the free throw line. And for Hamline, it's a bit of a mixed bag. Quaranta has struggled mightily there, but Wampler has been as good as literally it gets in the MIAC. Like a record-setting free throw shooter. Geisfeld, guarded by Cambrise. Now Coleman, got by Clark, picked up, shot short. Fosness has it under that pile, and jump ball called. It's a jump ball, and I called out. And Don Mulhern was asking if that shot had hit the rim. He was asking about the shot clock. And they've got 7 seconds left on the shot clock right now, as it says, and the officials will get back together. They're asking, did the shot hit the rim? They have 7 seconds up on the shot clock here, and they're going to ask that it's reset. And Don Mullenhern was saying, did the ball hit the rim? The official said yes, and he said, that's all I'm asking. So they put 30 fresh seconds up on the clock. Pump fake from Coleman. Got it down low for Kennedy. She was tied up by Torvik, but they're going to call a foul. Before then, Brooke Torvik called for her second foul. With 3:24 left. It'll send Kennedy to the free throw line. Both teams now in the bonus for the remainder of the action. So Kennedy to the free throw line. And her first shot is a good one. Kennedy's first points of the night. Kennedy on the season 59% from the free throw line, and she goes 2 of 2. That's a very clutch trip to the free throw line for Kennedy. She makes it 59-54. Hamline with the lead. Radford for Cambryce. Clark now Radford, top of the key. 2 dribbles to her right for Donica. Wildcats are going to need to ride Cambryce here late, and she lays it up and in. Cambryce has 26 points. It's a 3-point game. And Quaranta lost it. Wildcat ball. Girth into the front court. Oh, she missed a wide open Ashley Fosness. Here comes Meg Clark, and she was fouled. Kennedy commits the foul, and it sends Clark to the free throw line. So Meg Clark will go to the free throw line, 70% free throw shooter with her team down by 3. First shot is good. Wildcats on the afternoon shooting 80% from the free throw line. Clark now 2 of 3 in her own right. And she can make it a 1-point game and does just that. Clutch free throws from Meg Clark. She's got 5. 2:43 to go in this game. Buckle your seatbelts. That's an eternity. 59-58. Hamline with the lead. Wildcats on a nice little 4-0 run here. Coleman for Quaranta, the dangerous Quaranta. Picks it up. Goes for Schmidt. Outside. 3 on the way. That missed badly by Wampler. And a foul is going to be called against Hamline after the rebound by Meg Clark. The foul goes against Coleman. 4th foul against Coleman means more free throws for St. Kate's. They can reclaim the lead on this trip to the free throw line. Who better on senior day than Meg Clark? Made her last 2. And this one could tie it. And it does. We're all tied up, folks. 2:22 to go. Wildcats trailed by 3 at the half, trailed by 4 at the end of the third quarter. Trailed by as many as 9, but now they lead as Clark knocks down her second free throw. It's a 6-0 run. Clark has 7 points, and it's a 60-59 Wildcat lead. I think Coach Folke wants a timeout for the Pipers. Now he thinks better of it. Now he does take it. I want one, I don't want one, and I want one. Timeout Hamline, 2:12 to go. Wildcats on top by a point. You're listening to Wildcat Basketball on TJSportsOnline.net. Big game on a Saturday in St. Paul.
Shapco Printing, a full-service print solution provider, producing the highest quality print communications, reliably and consistently to customers across the globe. Shapco has received numerous awards from a variety of prestigious organizations. Located at 1109 Zane Avenue North in Minneapolis. For more information or to contact us, check us out online, www.shapco.com.
Last time that the Wildcats led was 36-35 with 4 minutes to go in the second quarter. They lead it now 60-59. Largest lead for Hamline is 8. Halfway through the third quarter. They trail now by 1. Quaranta guarded by the senior, Meg Clark. Quaranta goes to her right. Blew by Fosness. Lost it and turned it over. Oh, costly turnover. Out of a timeout for the Pipers, but Quaranta going to her right just simply lost the handle. Fosnes pushing the pace ahead for Kurth. Kurth going to work offensively. Outside for Radford. Doesn't look interested in shooting the three. Cambryce spins into the lane. Layup is up and in. Donica Cambryce is going off. She has 28 points. Her career high is 30. The Wildcats lead is 3. (62-59) the score. Wampler for Quaranta, guarded by the youngster Fosnes. She'll kick it outside. Geisfeld lines one up. That's long. A little adrenaline going on. The adrenaline is kicking in. Cambryce hauls in the rebound. 1:13 to go. Hamline needs defense. The Wildcats trying to widen their three-point lead, and a foul is going to be called against the Pipers. Wampler got all tangled up and was called for her second foul. Wildcats to the line to shoot two. The very reliable free throw shooter Meg Clark goes to the line. And just like that, the Wildcats lead by 2 buckets. First shot good for Clark. And on senior day in this fourth quarter, when it has mattered the very most, Meg Clark has been at her best. Second shot rattled in and out. Wildcats by 4. Wampler chases down the rebound and blows by Clark. Clark calling for help. Now she bumped into Wampler and got called for the foul. Wampler slammed on the brakes, drew the foul, and will go to the line to shoot two. Clark called for her first foul with 61 seconds left in the game. Wildcats leading by 4. Big free throws coming up for Wampler. I mentioned she is to say she's a good free throw shooter, vast understatement, better than 92% on the season. And she is now 68 of 73, better than 92%. Like I said, she's got 6 points in the game. It's now a 3-point game. Wampler has that routine that she goes through to the tune of 92%, and it's just like automatic. It's like the sun coming up in the east when she goes to the line. There's 1 minute left, and it's a 2-point game. Cats with the lead in the ball. Radford for Cambryce, down low for Clark, and she traveled. She got bumped and traveled, and the Wildcats turn it over. Wildcats leading by 2 now will rely on their defense. There's no doubt it was either a travel or a defensive foul against Hamline. 40 seconds to go. Oh, Fosnes stole it away. What a play by the youngster. Fosnes into the front court. She got fouled and will shoot 2 free throws. Great play defensively by Fosnes. And she'll go to the line to shoot 2. Fosnes on the season, 11 of 14 from the free throw line. These are 2 big free throws. Fosnes first on the way is good. That's a big one. Her first point of the night, by the way. And it makes it a 3-point game. Next one can put the Cats on top by 2 scores. Fosnes misses her second. And a lane violation. It was actually called against Fosnes. Boy, that one official on the far side is keeping a tight eye on the lane on the free throws. But Fosnes makes the play defensively, does just well enough at the free throw line. It's a 3-point game, and we got a timeout on the floor. Buckle up, 33 seconds to go from St. Paul. Cats need this one.
On your way to or from the game or anytime, visit your area Little Caesars. There is one just off the St. Kate's campus at 635 Snelling Avenue South. Call ahead with your order, 651-699-5551. Providing innovative food and beverage solutions since 1955 is Midwest Vending. Servicing organizations large and small throughout the Twin Cities, including St. Catherine's University. Proud to offer unwavering integrity, demand products, innovative technology, and personal attention. Give them a call at 952-707-1990 or visit MidwestVending.com.
Well, we said this game might be determined at the free throw line. The Wildcats have done well enough. Meg Clark has made her last 4. Fosnes got 1 out of 2. And the Wildcats lead at 64-61 with 33 seconds to go. Quaranta will trigger it in to the left of the Hamline bench. Got it in quickly for Wampler. the very reliable free throw shooter. Goes to the right of a screen. Played on a switch by Cambryce. Wampler drives. No foul called. Layup short. Wildcats have the rebound, and a foul is called against Wampler. Fosnes will go to the free throw line. Wampler wanted the foul call. They wanted to get their 93% free throw shooter to the line. The officials didn't call it. Fosnes with great defense got the rebound, drew the foul against Wampler. It's her fourth, and we'll go to the free throw line for the second straight time. First shot from Fosnes. Little heavy on the first one. But if she can go 1 of 2 just like she did on her last trip to the free throw line, it would make it a 2-bucket game. It would put the Cats on top by 4. She missed them both. That keeps Hamline in the game. Fosnes with great defense, but misses both free throws. 18 seconds left. Geisfeld drives. She lost it, and it's Wildcat ball. Geisfeld lost the handle. The Wildcats cleared the way. The ball traveled over the baseline. It's a turnover for the Pipers. They've had a few crucial ones of those late in this one. It's Wildcats ball with 14 seconds to go. We'll keep it right here at the Butler Center. What an incredible game this has been, to the tune of, 49 points in the first quarter, in the first 10 minutes. And it was a 3-point game at the half. Hamline led by 4 at the start of the fourth quarter. The Wildcats have found a way to come back after trailing by as many as 8 in that third quarter to hold on to this 3-point lead, 64-61. What Geisfeld trying to go strong to the basket. The Pipers on their last 2 possessions have come up empty-handed. Geisfeld and Wampler. The Wildcats, though, missing their last 3 free throws, all out of the hands of Ashley Fosnes. She made her first, missed her second on her second-to-last trip to the stripe, and this last time missed long. That adrenaline kicking in on both of them. Pass comes in for Kurth. Wildcats did a good job to make sure they got that pass in quickly and safely for Kurth. She's fouled and will go to the line with a chance to really do some damage to Hamline's hopes here. The foul's the third against Geisfeld, and Kurth to the line. Her first shot. That's good. Big shot for Morgan. Kurth has 10 points, doubling her season average of 5.5 per game. Wildcats by 4 with 12 seconds to go. But again, like we said, as you saw over at St. Thomas the other night, no lead safe at this point in the season. Great job at the line by Morgan Kurth. She makes them both. And great job by Dawn Mulhern. And, you know, the one thing that comes into play when you take that timeout now in women's basketball, you can advance the ball. So that's why you saw out of that timeout, the Wildcats able to inbound it in the front court. They get it to Kurth. She's quickly fouled. And then you let Morgan Kurth do the damage from the free throw line. And you can't overstate how clutch that was. A 53% free throw shooter goes to the line and makes them both. So very good job at the line by Kurth. Now the Wildcats will call upon their defense for one more stop here with a dozen seconds to go, leading by 5. Morgan Kurth. But again, on senior day, Meg Clark has been so good here in the fourth quarter. And I thought if anyone was going to bring the Wildcats back into this one, it would be Cambryce. But really, it's been the great defense of St. Kate's that has brought him back into this game. Shot on the way quickly for the Pipers. It's an air ball. Cambryce has it. She's fouled, and things are looking good for St. Kate's. 6 seconds to go, and 2 free throws upcoming for Donica Cambryce. Looking more and more like for St. Kate's, their postseason dreams will be on the line. Wednesday night at Augsburg, Cy Milby Hall. You can watch that right here on tjsportsonline.net. And Cambryce to the free throw line, 63% on the season. First shot is good. 29 now for Cambryce. Her next free throw would match her career high of 30 points. And with ice in her veins, Donica Cambryce goes to the line, knocks them both down, puts the Cats on top by 7 with now just 2 seconds to go. The last shot doesn't matter, and the Wildcats win on Senior Day. A come-from-behind victory for St. Kate's on Senior Day. They win it 68-61 and split the season series with the Hamline Pipers. That was as good of a game as you will ever see. And in the end, the Wildcats defense in the fourth quarter was just good enough, and their free throw shooting was just good enough. They didn't get that big three. They didn't get that big offensive run. We kind of thought that it was going to have to be blue-collar defense and free throw shooting, and that's what won the day. Late turnovers by Hamline, good defense from St. Kate's, and big free throws, as well as a late layup from Donica Cambrai. She matches her career high with 30 points as the Wildcats win it 68-61. For the Hamline Pipers, they've now lost 7 straight. They lost going back their last 7 games to St. Mary's, at St. Ben's, at St. Thomas, at Augsburg, Gustavus and Bethel at home, and then the loss now on the road to St. Kate's. Their record falls to 4-19 overall, 3-13 in the MIAC. They'll remain above Hamline in 11th place in the women's basketball standings. For St. Kate's, they creep closer to 500 overall on the season. They are now 11-12 overall, 7-9 in MIAC play. And depending on what happens in the Augsburg game against St. Ben's today, we don't have a score for you on that one. Augsburg's on the road taking on the Blazers. Hypothetically, as hard as this is to believe, but as good as St. Kate's has been these last few weeks with wins against St. Mary's, win over St. Olaf, a win today against Hamline, and then the win against Concordia back on January 17th. You've got a Wildcat team now that since the 17th, actually since the loss against Hamline, has beaten Concordia, beaten Carleton, St. Mary's, and St. Olaf. So this is a team that has really done some damage these last couple of weeks and has found themselves on the doorstep, even though it's a young team, of the MIAC's playoffs. And I can't say it enough again. In this fourth quarter, the little plays when it mattered, the rebounds, the free throws, on senior day, the toughness. Meg Clark, got to take your hat off to Meg Clark. The Wildcats now 11-12 overall, 7-9 in the MIAC, with a chance at sneaking into the playoffs as the 6th seed. It all comes down to next week. The Wildcats will be on the road taking on Augsburg in Minneapolis. And should they need the home win next Saturday, it'll be a 3 o'clock tip-off against a very good Gustavus team. They came into action today at 12-3. Our engineer today, pushing the buttons and turning the knobs, has been Glenn Thompson. The best in the business and the luckiest in the business as well is our friend Glenn Thompson. I'm Matt Nelson. Got to remember to thank Kelsey Whaley and Athletic Communications for all of her hard work. And again, thank Meg Clark and Alexis Garcia for joining us for our halftime show. I thought it was a great conversation. They both have had great careers and a big win, and a great way to honor them today on Senior Day with a 68-61 win. So we will talk again next week from the Butler Center as the Wildcats will wrap up the regular season against Gustavus, and then again as well on tjsportsonline.net. They will have coverage of the road game on Wednesday night that could determine the 6th seed of the MIAC women's basketball playoffs, as the Wildcats will go on the road to take on Augsburg and the Augies. Very good team. They were up late against St. Thomas, who hasn't lost this season in conference play. So for Glenn, I'm Matt, signing off on a Saturday as the Wildcats win 68-61 in come-from-behind fashion and win on Senior Day. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and go Cats!